Good afternoon, everyone. Today, under the subject of professional ethics, we will be dealing with the topic of admission, enrollment, and rights of advocates. So, how an advocates get admitted? What are the eligibility criteria that he needs to fulfill before he could be enrolled as an advocate, and what are the rights of an advocate after you get enrolled? These are the things that we will be discussing in this topic. First, let us discuss one thing I want to emphasize, that under chapter 3, these all the things are given under chapter 3. So if you read chapter 3 from 16 to 28, you will get an idea about admission, enrollment, and rights of procedure. What is the rights? What is the admission procedure? What is the enrollment procedure? So the first section that we will be dealing with is section 16. Section 16, that is, which talks about section 16, which talks about advocates and senior advocates. Advocates and senior advocates. Advocates and senior advocates. And senior advocates means the act says that advocates shall be of only two categories. Earlier there used to be barrister, solicitor, attorneys, vakil, there muhtars, where different category of advocates were there. But as we have discussed in the previous class when we were discussing about legal and constitutional history, we have discussed that when Advocates Act 1961 came into being, it automatically expunged or automatically eliminated all the other titles which used to be given to the advocates. Now there is only two category of advocates, that is advocates and senior advocates. So a person must be enrolled in the bar council in order to be called as an advocate, and there are certain criteria on the basis of which you get recognized as a senior advocate. So in order to get your recognition as a senior advocate, you must be considered by the bar and the bench. Bar and the bench means by the judges and by the lawyers community as a person who has a very good understanding of law, who has appeared in landmark judgments, and who has a very good sound understanding of the entire legal profession, and who has done exemplary or who has done exceptional work in the legal field, could be considered for the post of senior advocate. Now, what is the experience that is required for being called as a senior advocate? It is not provided. So what the bar and the bench thinks about you will be very, very important for you being given the title of a senior advocate. So if the bar and the bench thinks that you are a person who is a very capable, a very extraordinary person, who has done immensely exceptionally in the legal profession, you could be elevated as a senior advocate. Now section 24, here I would also like to talk about section 24. Section 24 talks about admission of an advocate. Admission. Who could be admitted as an advocate? So if you read section 24, it clearly says that it lays down certain criteria on the basis of which you could be enrolled as an advocate. So what are those criteria? It is first that you must be a citizen of India. You must have attained the age of 21 years. You must have a LLB degree or law degree from recognized college or university. And fourth, you must have filled the enrollment form and submitted the form to the enrollment committee of the Bar Council, and on the basis of that you will be enrolled as an advocate. So these are some of the requirements that you have to fulfill. You must be citizen of India, you must have attained the age of 21 years. There is no maximum age for becoming an advocate. Any person of any age, suppose 80 years, 90 years person could also become an advocate. You must have a law degree from a recognized university or college, and enrollment form. You must have filled the enrollment form and fulfill all the criteria laid down there. And now let us discuss also about the disqualification. The disqualification is basically provided in section 24A. Section 24A talks about disqualification. Disqualification means if you have been convicted of any offense, if you have done any offense of moral turpitude, or if you have been declared as an insolvent, or you have fled the country, there are certain criteria in which your nomination for an advocate will be rejected. So what are those criteria? If you have been convicted of an offense, if you have been convicted of an offense under Untouchability Act, if you have been dismissed or removed from the office on any charge of moral turpitude, then in that case you will not be registered as an advocate. And suppose if you are disqualified in Delhi to be registered as an advocate, you cannot register yourself as an advocate in some other state, because once you get disqualified in one state, that state will send a notice to all other states bar council, and none of the bar council will register you as an advocate. After that, let us discuss about the disposal of application for admission of an advocate. How the application is disposed of. It is given in section 26. Section 26 talks about disposal of application. How the application is being disposed of. So section 26 says that the bar council will enroll you as an advocate on the basis of the recommendation of the enrollment committee. Every bar council has an enrollment committee, which we will discuss how the committee is constituted. The enrollment committee will will accept your enrollment form which you have submitted under section 24, and will scrutinize it, and will go through your form and other certificate and degrees, and when they are satisfied that you are not suffering from any disqualification, they will enroll you as an advocate. The entire procedure is given in section 26, and section 26A talks about removal of names from the roll. So if Advocates Act, State Bar Council may remove from the state roll of the name of any advocate who is dead or whom a request has been received. So if a person die, his name will be striked off from the roll as an advocate under section 26A. Then certificate. Section 22 here is also very important. It talks about, section 22 also talks about certificate. So when you get enrolled as an advocate, you will be issued a card with an enrollment number, and also you will be issued as a certificate, and the day on which you receive certificate and enrollment number, from that day onwards you could practice as an advocate. So certificate is also a very, very important aspect for you being able to practice as an advocate. Now the last portion that I would like to discuss is section 23, that is right of pre-audience. Pre-audience means audience before any person. So the right of pre-audience follow this chain. That is, first the right of pre-audience will be given to Attorney General of India. Attorney General of India is a council for the central government. Then Solicitor General. Solicitor General is junior to Attorney General. Solicitor General basically helps Attorney General. Then it will be Additional Solicitor General. Then it will be Advocate General of the states. Then Senior Advocate, and then Advocate. So if there is an Attorney General and a Senior Advocate, first the court will hear the Attorney General. So this is the seniority level that will be followed in any court all over the country in the matter of hearing cases. So the right of pre-audience is a very important right of an advocate. It is given under section 23. Section 33 here also talks about one more important right, that is advocate alone has the right to practice. That means only advocates who get themselves enrolled as an advocate in State Bar Council are allowed to practice as an advocate in the court all over the country. So if you are not enrolled as an advocate in any State Bar Council, then you cannot practice law as an advocate in any of the courts. So you must be enrolled as an advocate, then only you can practice. So section 33 says that if you are not an advocate, you cannot practice law. With that being said, we have covered the topic of admission, enrollment, and right of advocates. I hope that you have understood it. If you have any doubt, feel free to ask. Thank you so much for patient listening. In the next class, we'll be discussing about bar bench relationship, which is also a very important topic. Thank you so much.